Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and welcome to another price-based roundup. Today the top 5 Rolex Submariner homages for under $200. Now I think the Rolex Submariner is the most iconic watch design of all time, but not everyone either has or wants to spend $8,000 on a new Rolex. So if you like the look but don't quite have the budget, this is the video for you. Now it's homages only today, no Seiko SKX, no Orient Ray. We're looking for watches that ape the style of the Rolex exactly. So 4 rules: it's got to be automatic, got to be on a bracelet, got to have Mercedes hands, and has to be 40mm case diameter. With that being said, let's get into today's roundup. Okay, so these are in order today from cheapest to most expensive. You've got to start somewhere, so at number 5, it's an Invicta. Okay, we start with the Invicta at number 5 at a mere $94. If you really can't stretch beyond 100, you can have this one for only $94. Now this is the Invicta Pro 8926 OB. There is actually the 8926, which features a funny looking scalloped bezel rather than the coin edge. If you're really strapped for cash, that one runs you $85. Now Invicta gets a bit of a kicking on the internet, on YouTube and on watch forums, question marks about their quality, but I've seen people who've owned these for 10 years, given them a hard time, and they have withstood the test of time, that's for sure. So what are you getting for your $94? Well, I guess the best thing you're getting here is you're getting a Seiko movement. This one features the NH35A, a fairly entry-level movement, but you'll find this in lots and lots of micro brands costing $2, $3, $4, even $500. Now it's a 3 Hz movement, 21,600 beats per hour, 41-hour power reserves, but you do get hacking or hand winding. You can't quite call it a Japanese movement though, because they do make these ones in Malaysia as well. You're also getting something with a little bit of its own character. Invicta logo there underneath the 12 o'clock, the Invicta logo on the back of the counterbalance for the second hand, you're getting a signed crown and even a signed rotor for that Seiko movement. What you're not getting, well, if you have a look at the bracelet there, you're not getting solid end links. Apparently the bracelets on these Invictas are pretty disgraceful. Not bad though if you're considering just throwing it away and putting it straight onto a NATO strap or something similar. You're also not getting sapphire. This is mineral crystal. And to be honest, the finishing looks a little bit rough, especially on the bracelet, and those ends of the lugs there looks pretty nasty from where I'm sitting. But you are getting a nice yellow box, and I repeat once more, $94. You're also getting something that's water resistant, rated at 200 meters, so they're actually putting these together to last. So all in all, if you can't stretch to 100, not a bad place to start with a sub homage. At number 4, another brand that doesn't get a lot of love on the internet, Parnis. Alright, at number 4 we have a Parnis. Now Parnis doesn't have an R&D department, they instead have a colour photocopier. You've got a couple of options when buying this one. You can buy it officially from parnis.org, their official online outlet. Now if you buy it from them, you're paying $139 US, although I already spanned some wheel and got a 10% discount on that. But you are getting some proper packaging and a 2-year warranty. If however you're prepared to take a punt and buy this one on eBay from GU16 or a number of other vendors, you can pick it up for less than $90 US, and it's a hell of a set of specifications at that price. For this price, you're getting a ceramic bezel insert, you're getting a Japanese-made Miyota 8000 series movement, and the finishing on this watch doesn't look half bad. Half decent polishing there on the case, and half decent brushing on the bracelet, screw down crown, sterile looking case back, but those look like solid end links. My problem, however, with the Parnis is this is a dive watch, or at least this is supposed to be a dive watch, and yet this one is only water resistant, 30 meters. This is a dive watch you cannot take swimming with you. That does put a big question mark on the overall durability of the watch and the overall build quality. Great specs, but you're not quite sure how they're putting all those pieces together. However, if you're never going to take this one swimming, if it doesn't matter to you, if there's just going to be a desk diver or a weekend watch, then a hell of a set of specifications. Really, really good price on this one. And if you can't stand having Parnis on the dial, you can always buy this one sterile with no labelling on the dial whatsoever. At number 3, another Asian homage specialist, Alpha Watch.
Well then, Alpha Watch, ripping off the Swiss watch industry since 1993. And it's not just Submariners here, you can get Planet Oceans, the Seamaster copies, Explorers, a little bit of everything. Now they actually do one at $95 US, but we're going up market, we're going for the one at $113 US. And I'll tell you why. It's got sapphire crystal and it's got a Miyota 8215 movement. So these things have a half decent reputation actually, and they don't look all that bad. I quite like the aluminium bezel insert on this green one. Plus points on this is that Miyota movement, again a decent made in Japan movement this time, and they've got a little bit of character of their own with a signed clasp there and signed crown as well. Not really sure why they bothered with the see-through case back. That Miyota is not the most attractive of movements. Downsides on this one, well, you don't get a box, you just get it in a little pouch when it arrives. 130 grams there, so, you know, not quite the full heft of a Submariner. That's closer to 160 or 170 grams, and 5 atmospheres. So remember the Invicta, 200 meters water resistance. This one only 50, which does raise a bit of a question mark about the overall build quality, but you can't argue with those specs. Not sure about the handset though, they look pretty flat, pretty basic, and the lume didn't look up to much on the other shot. But sapphire crystal, Miyota movement for $113, not a bad deal all in all with the Alpha Watch.
And number 2, one of my favourite new brands of 2017, Phoebus.
So at number 2, the Phoebus PY006. Now I bought one of these in blue earlier on this year, really enjoyed it, wore it quite a lot. I thought it was a fantastic watch for $169 US. So the price is getting up there, but I think this one more than justifies its price. Again, the same Miyota 8000 series movement, 316L stainless steel case and bracelet, sapphire crystal, 300 meters water resistance. Now that's the highest water resistance of any of the watches that we're looking at today. This watch is very well put together. I would have no hesitation in recommending this one. And at 177 grams, that weight very much reflects how well this watch is put together. Size for my 7-inch wrist, that came down to about 160 grams. Unidirectional bezel, rock solid bezel action, really nice aluminium insert on this one. Great handset as well here. These pictures don't quite do it justice, but there's a lot of depth to the dial. It looks a lot more expensive than the flat hands on some of the earlier offerings we looked at today. Also got proper C1 Super Luminova. So what are the drawbacks of this one then? Well, the clasp is only pressed. It's not all that fantastic. The lume, to be honest, isn't amazing. It's okay for the first couple of hours, but not that great thereafter. Nice etched case back though with that shark. Plenty of nice little Phoebus branding touches around and about. And the actual spring bars in the case there weren't all that fantastic. I replaced them myself. But a really solid offering, the Phoebus. As I said, I bought it in blue, showing it here in black. It's also available in what I think is the most attractive of the colours. A really nice green, the kind of Hulk style, with a lovely sunburst effect on the dial. $169 shipped, and that's anywhere in the world. They've got a US outlet, and they've also shipped direct from China. Highly recommended the Phoebus. They do 3 sub-homages. The PY006 sits in the middle of the range. I think it's the sweet spot at $169.
And at number 1, it had to be, all the way from South Korea, the Tisell Marine Diver.
Alright, I know I'm breaking my own rules. I'm going slightly over budget for this one at $230, but I think the Tisell Marine Diver is worth spending a little bit extra if you can manage it. Now it says there $99.99. You even get a little bit of the Rolex buying experience. There's a waiting list for this one. You have to contact a very polite gentleman in South Korea. He adds you onto a waiting list. When these watches are available, he gets back in touch. You hand over $230 US, and that's shipped to you anywhere in the world. I think this one, the Tisell, well worth spending the extra. Usual choice of blue, black or green models, ceramic bezel insert, 316L stainless steel, sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, C1 Super Luminova, all that good stuff that we've been looking at on some of the cheaper offerings today. The big point of difference with this one, apart from that great reputation, is the movement, and there it is. Rather than a Miyota 8000 movement, you're getting a Miyota 9000 movement with this one. This is a 4 Hz high beat movement, so you're getting 8 ticks per second rather than the 6 of the 8000. Much smoother sweep of the second hand on these, and much more accurate. I've had both of those movements this year. The 8000 was coming in at plus 15, my 9000 came in at plus 5, so a much more accurate watch. Now, there were some criticisms of the clasps they used on their bracelets. I think they've rectified this with the latest model. Semi-solid end links there, so again, perhaps not quite the optimum, but screw links, so generally a pretty good deal for the money. These things come with a great reputation, and also if you do decide to sell it at some point in the future, you should have no problems offloading one of these Tisells. The reputation they have within the watch community is really that good. So I did cheat a little bit. We are going slightly over budget, but if you can get one, the Tisell Marine Diver, well worth spending a little bit extra on.
So there you have it. You don't have to spend 8 large to get the look and feel of a Rolex on your wrist. My choices, well, it should be obvious. Invicta, then Phoebus, then if you can stretch, do stretch for the Tisell. I think it's a fantastic watch for the money. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.